Hi everyone, it's Cherie from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and today we're going to be doing a file from marjorieanndesigns.com. The tube I'm using of glue is art glitter glue from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. It's just in a fine line applicator from Amazon. And if you've been scrapbooking as long as me, I'm sure you have a stash of Prima flowers around the house. So marjorieanndesigns.com does have Franklin and Franny, which is a series of bears. This is the file called Franklin Springtime, and this is bear number 2. I imported him into Cricut Design Space at 10.0, and I let the height auto adjust with the lock-on in Cricut Design Space. So for the bear itself, I used a color caramel by American Crafts. All of my paper is by American Crafts, and I do prefer textured over smooth. This is my preference. You might like smooth more than textured. The pencil markings on the bear base are just for me to have a guide on where to glue the legs, because art glitter glue does dry very fast and you can't always slide a piece as easy as you think. So I won't go ahead and mark it that way, then I can just lay the pieces right down and they're in the perfect spot, so I don't have to worry about shifting them. After his legs are glued on, I'm going to go ahead and glue his body and his feet on. After I get those on, I glue the ears down. The color of the ear pads up there, that light pink, is the color Bubblegum by American Crafts. And right above his left ear, you'll see a light brown. That's the color Oatmeal by American Crafts. This blue little bone folder is actually a vinyl squeegee. I use it because it has felt on the end and it runs across the paper very smooth. Here I was going to glue his head down and I caught myself. I needed to glue the ear pads down first, even though I did it when I dry pieced it to make sure I had all my pieces. It was an oversight, which I do it more times than not, but I always catch myself, thankfully, and I went ahead and laid his head down. I did do the eyes off camera just because they do take so long. And sometimes they don't go as smooth the first time. I still throw faces and heads away because my eyelashes are wonky and not even, or I have one side that has more and one side that has less. Now that is acetate. 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop does sell acetate. I use it instead of a ruler because it is thin. It allows me to see through it, so I can do fine lines straight when I need to. Even if you were to add little dashes on your bear, that's what I use to put my little dashes, so that way I can make sure that it's an even line and that I'm not freehanding it with crooked ones. So after I got his muzzle and his nose glued on, I am going to glue his arms behind his body, as he's going to be holding a cute little flower pot. Now, the pattern does come with flowers, but I opted to go with Prima just because the Prima flowers give it more texture. And 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop does have mulberry paper, so if you go that route with a die cut, that will be really cute as well. And if you don't like how light the flowers are, you can double up on them or put cardstock behind them to give them a deeper depth of darkness. Now the color I used for the pot, and I found it to be perfect, is the color Squash, because it looks almost identical to the color of a clay pot. The darker brown behind the pot is the color Truffle by American Crafts. And in another video, I will show you guys how I swatch my inks. It's the same way that you can get the swatch books from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. And I go about 2 shades darker with my paper, or than my paper, with my ink to ensure that I allow for any fading over time, because I'm afraid inks will fade. They say fade resistance, but I don't know 20 years from now or not if they're going to fade, and it's just going to be paper in my book, so I just try to compensate a little bit. The green is the color Leaf, and here I put my Prima flowers on. Now instead of those little yellow circles, guess what? I'm using our yellow pearl embellishments. Now I did take out 2 number 3s and 2 number 4s because I wanted to see which colors, or sorry, which size was going to fit perfectly, and it was size number 4 for me. You might want them bigger. I just wanted them smaller because I'm going to add a butterfly to this on top of one of the flowers once I make up my mind where it's going to go. Here I'm just seeing how far I want to place the pot with the flower going over Franny's face. And I did cut a bow out that I'm going to put on at the end to make her Franny instead of just Franklin, which comes with the file, and that's fine. This is Franklin's Springtime from MarjorieAnnDesigns.com, but I wanted Franny. She does have Franny and Franklin, and the bow is really the only difference, as they're identical bears. Now, my husband found me these little acrylic butterflies, and they also have flowers as well. Don't know where he found them from. He went out with my daughter, and they brought them back. And they're so cute and so perfect for what I'm doing. The pan pastel chalk I do use to add my white highlights of chalk, like to the eyes and to the nose. And a gel pen is what I use for my ears, my nose, my hands, just anything I want to add a little bit of brighter white highlight to than just chalk. The pan pastel is very rich in color, and you'll see here in a moment when I ink his one foot, if you're looking at it on the left side, it was too dark. So I went in with an eraser to lighten it up. I know Stampin' Up! And some of the other chalks are lighter, so you can go heavier with those. If you do get pan pastel, which I got mine from Amazon, you do have to go a little bit lighter handed. And I found putting it on my finger and then dabbing sometimes will allow me to have the lighter effect. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching and have a good day.